Hey guys, it's me, Trevis with PlayerProps.ai, and this is the SportsQuack play of the day. Now, yesterday we went one of two. Nikola decided to, of course, hit his over as intended of the over 25.5 points, and we had, I believe it was under Murray for the Hawks, well, the FanDuel line was 26.5, but SportsQuack had it at 25.5, but I think he hit like something like 29, but regardless, he did not go under. He went the over. So we continue. This is how you should be approaching creating plays, whether it's on apps like SportsQuack or Sportsbooks or whatever. You should be always figuring out, okay, looking at what you recently did. Why did that not hit? What can I be doing differently to enhance my chances of hitting? So that's what we're constantly tweaking, what we're doing, and how we're using this brand new SportsQuack Optimizer. So if you do not have an account yet and you're watching this video, if you don't have a SportsQuack account yet, just simply go to sportsquack.online, use promo code PlayerProps. That'll give you a free entry to win up to $250 with no deposit required. And if you don't have access to this beauty of a player prop research tool website, simply go to PlayerProps.ai. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, simple as that. It's currently 100% free during the open beta, which I believe is about 7 more days left. So if you haven't played around with this, this is the time to play around with it. As always, I never look at this before I start recording, so we're going to discover the plays together. What we've done the past few days is we started with the predictor first, because the predictor sorts by percentage difference, and we start with that, and then we go to the SportsQuack Optimizer to pull up that data as well. I always like starting on points. I feel like that's one of the more easier stats for the AI to predict, so that's why we like to sort by points, and points is actually the default sorting. So I'm just going to go quickly down these here. If you recall from the previous episodes, because the O is toggled here, all 4 of these need to be green. If the U is toggled, all 4 of these need to be red. So right now we have almost 4 greens for Dort. He's a 1% away from having 4 greens here. He has no head-to-head data against the Pacers for this season. Those 2 might be the best ones, because as I go down here, nothing's looking like it's going to be 4 greens. And yeah, once we get past the 10% percentage difference, we don't really want to get below that, because there's always edges that are good finds below, around, or much higher than that line anyway. So the only thing that kind of stands out is these 2. These are pretty much all 4 greens. This is 1% away from being green, and he's 0 data on head-to-head. So out of all the data we have, he's got all greens. Okay, so we have Dort, 9.5, Paul, 8.5 points. We can also toggle the U and see if anybody's all red right off the rip. We have Harris, hops out at all red. Jaren Jackson, almost all red, 1% away from all red. Santi, 1% away from all red. And then we start getting below the 10% mark here. So there's 3 things there we can look at as well. Typically like to target, so these are both 13% differences, but there's less of a difference between these 2 than there are between these 2, because the higher the line, the higher the gap between the same percentage difference. So because this line's so high, there can be more points between than this one to have the same percentage difference, which is, like I said, that's just comparing these 2 numbers together. So we see you got 20, 40. He's got 1% away from head-to-head. His head-to-head versus the Lakers does not have that, but he's been better at covering 16.5 points during the season when he's not been at that good covering his 25.5 point line. Looks like Santi's at 40% in his last 5, so these have better last 5s here. Looks like Jaren's got the best line for going under at minus 118. So we'll keep all those in mind. So we have Jaren Jackson under, Tobias Harris under. And then we had, who was the overplay again? Let me go back to that real quick. Paul and Dort. So now, with those in mind, we go to the SportsQuack Optimizer. So SportsQuack Optimizer, as you remember, it sorts by the biggest line. We already kind of know what the lines are because we looked at it on the other one. So let's just find them up here. So we have Dort. So this is how I quickly find if the line on the predictor is the exact same line on SportsQuack. because we don't see Dort here, that means Dort's line is not the same, which, what was it, 8.5? So what I do then is I just manually actually pull up the SportsQuack app on my phone to see what Dort's actual line is, if it's better or worse for the direction we want to be going, which the direction is over, because we saw him on the over side. Let me just pull up the app here real quick. Dort. Oh, Dort does not have a points line right now at all on SportsQuack. So maybe there's a reason for that. So let's look at some other ones here. What was the other unders? Chris Paul, I know we said was over, right? Yeah. So go down here, and we don't see Chris Paul, so then I go on the SportsQuack app. It means this line is different than what the sportsbooks are offering for the same exact thing. And I do not have Chris Paul available either. So both of those are unavailable. So that takes out two of the possibilities that we're targeting here. Terrence Mann. I'm just gonna keep this up here and pull up was he Clippers? Portland Clippers. We do not have Terrence Mann on there either. So no Paul, no Dort, no Mann. So then let's look at the underlines that we had that we liked. Harris and Jaren Jackson. So in his he did not hit 16.5 in his last 3. He got 21 4 games ago. And then out of the last 5 games, he's only hit once, and that was, like I said, 4 games ago. He did hit cover here in these past 3, but he hasn't done it since, except for that one time. So that's why we play around the past data. But his last 3 games, no bueno, which is good because we're targeting the under. So what else are we looking at here? We're going under Jaren Jackson. So he did cover this in his last game, which I'm not a huge fan of, but he had 5 consecutive games where he did not hit this line, and he bubble covered here in 2 games ago. So his last 2 games, he's averaging, what is it, like 26.5 points, and his line's 25.5. Kind of on the fence there, but the projections are saying 22.23. So projections are saying he's going to go less here. So I'm going to pull them up real quick and see if we can find both of these on the SportsQuack app. We have Jaren Jackson of Memphis. He is on there at exactly 25.5, so his line does match FanDuel. And then the other one again was Tobias, Philly. Tobias is 16.5 on SportsQuack as well. So yeah, those lines are exactly the same. So you can use the predictor data for that as well. So we had Jaren Jackson covered the last one. He bubble covered, or did not cover his last game. He bubble covered 2 games ago, but then he had 5 straight where he didn't. Projections are favoring that. Projections, of course, are favoring the under here. We have all 4 of the same color of this arrow. So we're hitting the trifecta for both of these players, and they're both available at the exact same lines. So that is going to be the play for today. We're going under Tobias and under Jaren Jackson 25.5 line. So that's the play for today. Now, the entire purpose of these videos are for you to better understand how to utilize these tools. This isn't just, tune in the video, get the play, call it a day. This is teaching you how to use these tools. I've created an app that helps you research your player prop plays on any sportsbook or your pick'em apps like SportsQuack. Now, do they hit 100% of the time? No, it all depends on A, if you're interpreting the data correctly, B, if you're not being ridiculous and putting only 6-pick parlays out there. But it does have past data, and that's just factual information provided to you in a very nice, clean graph that you can play around with. So make sure that you are part of the open beta for the next 7 days that it's left by going to PlayerProps.ai. Lock this in. Let me know in the comments what you're playing as well. And good luck. And cross my fingers and toes. This is going to be a good one. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Good luck.